Good day, good evening, everybody. John Pierce here, and hello and welcome to you. Give me a quick sound check, if you would, in the chat box with a quick Y if you can see the screen. SEO Breakthrough Member Only Coaching. Fantastic, and welcome everybody. And of course, Chris, hello, are you still there?
Yes, here, John. Yes, and hello, everybody. Good to be on the call with you all.
Fantastic, and I'd love to read out names of everyone joining us, but there's so many scrolling up, which is great. I've sort of missed it. Tim, I've just seen you there. Pete, Stephen, Austin, Bill, Sean, the last few, Yardine, Joanne, one I can't pronounce. Anyway, forgive me if I don't do the normal, reading through everyone's names and where you're from, but hi Bob from Colorado, I see you there at the end, and we're going to crack on because we've got a lot of stuff to cover, and you probably know Chris and I by now. We don't do a lot of the fluff. We just sort of, I suppose we're a bit too English about it, really. We just sort of do the stuff that we do, which is teach and market, and so that's what we're going to do tonight. So, without much more said, welcome, and we've got some good stuff to cover tonight. And what we're going to cover, if I jump to my next slide, is first of all, the sky is falling. Well, we thought it was falling for a while, and we were, as you probably read in my emails, quite worried about the impact on local SEO as a business model, and how important it was going to be. And anyway, after some research and whatever, we redoubled our efforts. We're as convinced of the value of local SEO as we ever were, and we're going to cover why, because there are some big changes. And for sure, local SEO for 2017, you need to be up to date. You need to do local SEO for 2017. If you're doing local SEO for 2016, with 2016 techniques, you're not going to rank, at least not easily. So we're going to be covering, and Chris is going to teach this section, local SEO in 2017, after a lot of big changes that Google has made. And it's going to be pretty intensive and pretty fast-paced. So do listen carefully. And we're going to actually incorporate this training and some new videos we've done into the SEO Breakthrough members area in the next few days. We'll get them loaded up. They're all done. We just need to load them up and to make an expanded and refocused 2017 module for local SEO. So guys, quick in the chat box, guess how much we're going to charge you for this new revised local SEO training in SEO Breakthrough members area. Give me your guess in the chat box for how much you think we're going to charge you. yeah. That's not fair though. We should be, you're right, you're absolutely right, everyone's saying. Yeah, Pete, you've got it right, $1 million, about what it's worth, so a whopping zero. You're right. For those of you guys who are loyal to us and are members in good standing with the monthly fee that you pay, and this is why we ask you to pay the monthly fee, those of you that still do, is for access. Not only is it access to Power Anchor, but it's also it means that we can afford to keep working without getting new customers, because you're paying us for that work. So we're continuing to keep SEO Breakthrough updated and 100% up to date for 2017, and expand as we learn new techniques and new resources come on stream. We do that for you and update it for you. So there we go. That's the quick plug there, and aren't we nice guys? Just joking. But that's what we're doing, loading up into SEO Breakthrough and also covering it right now. Then we're going to talk about the PBN Protector plugin. Reveal that last. We're going to demo it. It's all ready. It's working. It's functioning, and we can get it out to you next week. I'm sorry it's not tonight, but it will be next week, I promise. And then we're going to talk about another tool that is not ours, sadly, but it's very interesting. Chris and I love it. We've got hold of it, and we're going to use it because it's a great tool to revolutionize user engagement. What do we have a website for? Rhetorical question, guys. What do you have a website for? You have a website so that visitors that land there do something that you want them to do, whether it be buy, opt-in, download something. But there's no point having a website that visitors don't do anything on. You might have 1,000 visitors, but if they all come, browse around and leave, your website without doing anything, well, that's not much good. So there's no point having a website that doesn't engage the visitor and get them to do stuff. That's how we all make money. That's how your clients make money, by visitors doing stuff on your website. And this is a great tool which is going to make that significantly easier, significantly better, and obviously something you can offer to your clients as well if you do client services. So we'll cover that at the end. It's not ours, sadly, but we like it, and we'll talk a little bit about it, and you can decide whether you want it or not. All right, let's move on. The sky's falling. Why did I put that in the email, and what am I talking about? Well, Google, Patrick, we'll come to that at the end. Yeah, Patrick's asking about our Site Restorer software. Guys, I'm sorry that's not ready yet. It has been a mammoth project. We have been burning through coders like there's no tomorrow. I mean, we've been just destroying coders by the complexity of the task, and they're reducing them to tiers, and then we have to get new coders. Actually, we have had to fire some guys and bring others on because it is a mammoth project, but it is coming. We're on the path to success, and I'm just really sorry it's taking longer than planned, but it is coming. It's just a hard thing to do, what we're doing in software on the Site Restorer stuff. We'll touch on that at the end as well if we have time. But anyway, let's return to local SEO and what I mean by the sky is falling. Well, first of all, the first thing to know with local SEO is there's more and more focus on local by Google. Google have been tuning and tweaking and adapting their algorithm in order to serve the local search, so that when I type something into Google as a search phrase, the results I'm going to get depend on where I am and whether I'm looking for something that is location specific. So we're talking about location specific SEO. If I type DUI lawyer Anaheim into Google, it's not going to give me a DUI lawyer in New York. It's going to give me DUI lawyers in Anaheim and so on. If I just type DUI lawyer in, or nearest restaurant, or other local search phrases with local intent, Google wants to give me local results, and they've been focusing on this more and more and more. And let's face it, how do you find, let me ask you, how do you guys find stuff now? You're out in town and you think, oh, where's the nearest so-and-so? How do you find it? I mean, tell me, or even if you're at home, put it in the chat box. What do you do if you're at home? Where do you search? Do you search Yellow Pages or Yelp.com, or do you go to Google? Let me know if there's something else, or if it's Google. Google. I've got one person says Yelp. Everyone says Google. Google Maps, yeah, same thing. Well, not the same thing, but in the same thing. Siri, okay, says Jim. Yeah, Siri obviously typically will bring, I don't know, does Siri always bring up Google? I don't know, but I think we've got about 95% of you guys do what I do, which is if you want to find something locally, use Google, because Google is really, really good at giving you the results that you're looking for. Really good at it. Really good at it. Brian says Siri does not use Google. Okay, when I use Siri, I don't know you guys, I say Siri Google local restaurant or whatever. So in that case it does. But all right. So if we all using it, 95% of you are using Google, and Google's focusing on it, it's an important area to focus on, and it's really, really important for local businesses. But then Chris and I heard about some stuff that was going on, and what we're going to do now is take a look at the search phrase San Diego plumber. Now, in fact, let me do another one here. Let me bring up Google and look and do a different one. I'll go to google.com. Sorry, because I'm in the UK, it always defaults to google.co.uk. But let me go back to google.com, and I have to click down here. Right, now I'm on google.com. Let me look for San Diego. Give me something else. Lawyer. Okay, so I want you to compare these two pages. Now, this one looks pretty much like you would expect and you're used to. So we've got AdWords listings at the top. I'm not going to click on any of these because it will cost these guys 100, 150 bucks. Very, very expensive. And then we've got the 3-pack. Right here, the Google Plus 3-pack here. And then below that, we've got the normal organic listings. And so quite soon below the top of the page, obviously we've got more AdWords now. Google have changed that. They're making money out of this stuff, and they've increased the number of AdWords up here at the top. And we got the 3-pack, but the organic listings are still pretty near the top. And I'm likely as a user, if I don't find what I want down here, I'm likely to scroll down a little bit. Let me show you San Diego plumbers, which I've already done the search phrase for. So that's a bit different. Look, we've got a 3-pack at the top of the page, except it's not a 3-pack. And hang on a minute, what's this? Google guaranteed. That looks a bit different, you might be thinking. Then we've got one AdWords ad, just one of them. And then we've got the normal organic 3-pack. And then even further down now, we've got the organic Google listings. Now, what this means is the organic Google listings are displaced a lot further down the page, and Google is doing paid stuff at the top. This is effectively, if you want to think of it as this, a paid 3-pack. Google guaranteed there's a verification process, but there's effectively a paid 3-pack, and if I click on more plumbers, I'll get more paid business listings, essentially. And what used to be at the top of the page is now starts here. And so we were quite concerned because when Google do something like this, they start in San Diego in this case, and they roll it out. And so we were thinking, well, this is going to greatly reduce the value of these listings here. Particularly if you're like number 5 or 6 on page 1 in the organic listings, you're well down the page now, well down the page, and the value is far less to the local business than it is to be maybe in the paid 3-pack, which is really where users are going to be drawn to. Now, that was a significant disincentive to stay in the local SEO business, but have no fear. Have no fear, because it turns out that Google are doing this. They're only doing it in San Diego right now. They will likely roll it out. Almost certainly they will. We can't be absolutely certain of anything with Google, but almost certainly they'll roll it out. But it's only for plumbers and locksmiths. And they've actually said this. Plumbers and locksmiths are the only niches where they're going to do this. Again, locksmiths, paid Google listings, one AdWords, then the organic 3-pack, and then the organic listings. Whereas San Diego lawyer or San Diego, give me something else, dentist, it's the conventional look and feel that we're used to. AdWords, 3-pack, organic listings. So that's just an indication, I guess. And they've said why are they doing it for locksmiths and plumbers? Because locksmith and plumber businesses typically have a greater percentage of bad operators, cowboy operators, and so they've chosen to make this is what they say, they've chosen to make the locksmith and plumber niches have this Google guaranteed, Google verified badge, which the business has to get verified for before they'll be listing. But they are not planning currently, not for the foreseen future. We're not going to see this in other niches. So probably I would steer clear of plumbing and locksmith niches for the reasons I've just given, but the rest of local SEO is as powerful as it ever was. And fundamentally, because of the rise of local searches and the rise in the number of people who use Google to find local businesses and local facilities, it's perhaps more valuable than ever before to the local business. But there's a very specific way, isn't there, Chris, to rank for local, which is a little bit different from non-location specific SEO, and that's what we're going to have a look at now. Chris is going to take us through it. I've got one more slide. Plumber locksmith changes. I've covered all this, so I'm behind my slides. But your local SEO must be up to date for 2017, and that's what we're going to teach you right now. Cue the maestro. Cue Chris Cantel. Are you ready, Chris, to take the screen? Chris, are you there? I've lost you. Guys, can you still hear me, or have you lost me? Give me a quick why if you can still hear me in the chat box, please. Chris, can you hear me again now?
It's all gone quiet.
Ah,
good.
Okay. That looks like that was my connection.
So, right, okay. Oh, that's fine. Well, I was asking if you were recording this, John. So, because the record's not working online.
Is it not? I am recording it,
no.
And I'll start a backup recorder as well. Your record just won't. You're clicking the button, it won't record. No,
that's right.
Okay. Well, I've got mine going, and I'll bring up a backup. But anyway, are you ready to take the screen?
Yes. Yes.
Now, I'm ready to two of you as well. I don't know which one of you it is because I can't see a mute symbol.
Yeah.
You got it running on 2 computers. Let me try this one.
I have. Well, yes, it all went wrong. It's all gone wrong on one of them. So let's see.
Okay.
Just try muting at one of them.
Bear with us, guys. I'm sorry. Is that you, or is that the wrong you? Looks like it's the wrong you. Let me try the other one.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. You got me.
Okay.
That's
okay, great. Guys, just
you did have it right.
Apologies for this.
That's the wrong one.
It's the wrong one now. Okay, I had it right before. Okay.
Yeah, that's the wrong one now.
We're a bunch of amateurs at this, aren't we? It's just ridiculous.
That's it. Right,
Okay,
okay.
Chris's screen, guys, will be, oh yeah, I can see your screen. Hooray! All right. So sorry everyone that I dropped out clearly on audio. We didn't miss anything too earth-shattering, did we, Chris?
No, no, no. No, I
Okay,
don't think
probably
so.
nothing that I say is particularly earth-shattering, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, I'm going to be quiet now and leave you, Chris, to take us through this module, and then we'll come back for a bit of Q&A once you've finished this bit.
Great. Okay, well, John touched on that we got some new material to go into the SEO breakthrough, and in fact we got a complete new module. It's the local module. Now we've got a downloadable PDF as part of the package, and you'll have access to that. And what I'm going over on the webinar now is all covered in this, but there's also other videos that will be in the members area, but I'll be referring to this on the call this evening. All right, so let's go and have a look then at where we are ranking a local site. So on July the 24th in 2014, and this is the date when everything changed for local search on Google, and since then there's been huge changes. Does anyone know what that is? What happened on 24th of July 2014? So put your answers in the chat if you've got a guess. So we got Hummingbird, UX Mobile, RankBrain, 3Pack, Penguin. Lots of different answers. Some of them are almost right, but actually it was this one. Pigeon, Google Pigeon. Okay, so maybe a lot of you haven't even heard of it, but Google Pigeon has actually, it smashed local. It changed everything. All right, so Google has since been doing all sorts of things, improving upon Pigeon and bringing in, obviously it brought in RankBrain and a few other things. So summary of what have changed in local then. Okay, so your website must be optimized locally for phrase. Okay, so that obviously there's a lot of this we already know about, because bearing in mind this was back in 2014. So what I'm bringing out now is what we need to include in this, because a lot of people haven't even caught up with 2014 algorithm, but what Google has brought out since then and currently up to date. Google's been really busy since, well, in the last 6 months with local. Your off-page SEO must have good foundational backlinks. So press release, we talk about that in the members area. That's important, it's very important. A city is no longer just a city. Now this is something which Google brought out in Google didn't give it a name. It was part of an algorithm update, and I can't remember what it was called, what animal they gave the name. It wasn't Google that gave it, but anyway, it was I can't remember, but it was to do with Google don't see it as a city anymore. They see it as something else. And I'll cover that in a moment. All right. Other thing that you need is strong local presence, citations and directories. Okay, but not just anyone's. Possum, yeah, that's right. It's Thomas and Brian. Thank you. It was Possum, yeah. Google Possum. All right. But anyway, strong local presence, citation and directories, but not just anyone's. All right, I'll come back to that in a moment. Local backlinks. All right, backlinks from local sites. That's a big one. This is a huge one that Google's been building upon. Okay, it's the importance of that. And high authority backlinks. That's Google generally, but it's part of local as well. Local social reference. Okay, this is something that Google's bringing in more and more, which is social activity in the locality. All right, so let's go through each one of those. Your website must be optimized locally for phrase. Okay, so we find out from Google which main phrase can appear on one page. So for example, let me just bring up an example here. We've got heating installation Houston, right? And we've got another one which is HVAC Houston. So what we have then, let me just refresh this 1 second. Both of them do heating installation, HVAC, heating, ventilation, air conditioning Houston, and heating installation Houston. But none of these are found, not one of these listings is found in both searches. So all of these are unique. So Abacus Plumbing .net plumbing, so this here is found here, but it's not the same page. This is a different page. This is their air conditioning page, and this is their plumbing page. So they've had to do 2 pages to get listed on the first page of Google for both phrases, because none of these others are listed. They're different. So Google will not rank on the same page those 2 phrases. Homepage for heating, we're heating installation specialists in Houston, and we're the best HVAC company in Houston. You think, well, I've optimized that for both phrases. Well, Google's not having it. They've been very careful to separate them. It's too broad, and part of RankBrain was to really focus and laser target to be more specific to what the user was searching for. So here Google say HVAC, this is HVAC, and we're not actually going to bring into the search heating installation. Although they're the same thing, Google separated it. So you need to make sure that your key phrases that you're looking for, that you want to rank for, that Google actually allows that to be all on one page. And you do that by searching for the various different phrases like heating installation and then your city. And then you'll find out if other companies or other websites have those same phrases listed for those various different phrases. And if they have, if Google's done it for them, then they can do it for you if your page is optimized. Okay, so just back to here again. The next thing that you need to do is embed a Google interactive map with your exact location tags. So you can find out how to do that here, just here. So embed a map or share a location. So this URL here, this is going to be in the document which you'll be able to access when the module's up. And incidentally, just going back a bit, I've got here plumber Newport Beach and emergency plumber Newport Beach, just to show you that we've got Ritz Plumbing here, Newport Beach, and here we've got Ritz Plumbing Newport Beach. So Google's done it for them. They've listed for both phrases on the same page. So if they've done it for them, they'll do it for you as well. That's how you search and find that out for yourselves. Right, so back to the embedded. Get your embedded map so that people can actually interact with the map on the page. Have that on your website. It can be on the Contact Us page, it can be on the home page, but just make sure it's on your site. And that's Google likes having their properties on your website. Images should be geotagged. Okay, so a geotag is basically having your coordinates embedded onto the image. So if I go back to the browser, so this is the URL, geoimager.com/en/tool. All you do is basically upload your image, whatever your image is about, and you get this and you put it on wherever it's going to be, and you can zoom in and get the exact location. You can make it right down to the exact street that you're on. You can notice that these coordinates are changing as I move those around. Once you've got this all done, you can then tag the image. Okay, and once you've tagged the image, you can then continue with this, and it lets you download the image, and you download the image with all the tags on it. Okay, there's some other services that do that, but this is the one that we use. Your content must show for all neighborhoods and zip codes that your business is relevant for. So on your home page, let's say you want to rank your home page, and your home page is this one, for example, plumber, Newport Beach. Well, if we have a quick look at this person's page, so they haven't got all of the areas that they cover on their page, so they've missed out on that. They could, I'm sure that they cover more than Newport Beach for plumbing services. Maybe they don't, but I would imagine they would do. But they've missed out on optimization there. They could have put down here, we cover such and such areas, and then just a list of zip codes, for example. And that would be optimizing for and including things which Google doesn't know now, because they haven't added it, that they cover zip da-da-da-da, whatever that is, because they haven't mentioned it. So how would Google know? So that's just an important point to optimize for the locality. Okay, so those are the points for optimization. So optimize locally for the locality and also for your phrase. So use the Wikipedia tips that we use in Module 1 to make your phrases relevant. Check that your phrases, that Google will actually rank that page for those for your main phrases, and then continue with that page creation. If you need 2 pages, then you'll have to create 2 pages if you want to rank for those phrases, if Google won't allow it on the same page. Okay, let's move on now. Your off-page SEO must have good foundational backlinks. So that's press release. We've talked about this a lot. So you need to have that. You need to have the good spread of no-follow links. And no better one for doing that than Marketers Media, because you get the syndication of the no-follow links, but you get the do-follow anchor text within the body, which makes Marketers Media, which is high domain authority, a great tier 1 platform, and one that you can turn into a super link structure, but we'll have more on that later, just to explain what that is. Okay, a city is no longer just a city. So let's say you want to rank for plumber Houston. Okay, Google's not so keen on that anymore, because it actually sees Houston as a makeup of 15 areas. Maybe they even see it as even more than 15 areas, and these are those. I just want to check if okay, I haven't got that here. I'm just going to go into the document here. Now I'm going to show you okay, so we've got here, so DUI lawyer Montrose Houston, okay, DUI lawyer Rice Houston, and DUI lawyer Houston. So we've got, I don't know how well you can see this on the screen, but here we've got DUI lawyer Montrose. We've got a complete set. There aren't any of the same listings here of real companies for this listing. These are all different for Rice, so Google's not showing the same listings in the organic, and they're not showing the same listings in the organic for DUI lawyer Houston. So it was Patrick's asking, how do we get this document? Well, the document's going to be available when the module's up and running. Okay, so these areas here, they're all different. So Google sees them as different. So if you're trying to rank for Plumber Houston, you might be missing a trick here, because what about all these other areas? Google's now saying, well, these are all very relevant areas that you need to try and rank for. So you need to look for Houston Heights. We do plumbing throughout Houston Heights, for example, throughout Montrose. So you cover those. When you're doing your off page, or even on your on page, you cover those areas, you cover those phrases, and then you become relevant for those. So that's important that you cover those. When you're anchor text as well, when you're linking to your site, there's all of these that you can use. Avoid doing spamming backlinks for Plumber Houston, because Google's had enough of spammy backlinks. And if you do, I would say on a local front, if you do more than 1 or 2 backlinks which would be Plumber Houston, you've overdone it, because Google's just not having any of that anymore. So you can easily diversify your anchor text by including these other phrases. Strong local presence, citations and directories. Now you need to find the directories that Google likes best for your niche and location, and let me show you the best way to do that. Right, okay, I'll go back here next. So we've got heat and installation Houston. So which are for that niche and that location, which are the best citation or directories? Well, the best way to do is have a look what Google's ranking on Google. So Angie's List, that's a directory. So you'd want to get your business listed on Angie's List, because they're right at the top. If you weren't doing it for the backlink, you want to get there, because then your site will be listed on Angie's List, which people will be searching for, and they'll find your company. But getting on there, you get the backlink as well if they show the backlink. But anyway, you get your NAP on there at least. And then you've got Home Advisor, you've got Yelp, and when you've finished on the first page, you can go to the second page and see what other directories are here. Thumbtack. So you do all of those, any that you see which are directories on the first, second or third pages. They're the best ones. Those are what you should be dealing with first, and then you can we'll cover citations in the next webinar that we do. But these are the ones that you want to get in for your authority directories. Don't spam the directories. Google doesn't want to see hundreds and hundreds of directories with your link in. They want to see good quality local directories, and there's a good number of those, but don't go for hundreds of directories, because that's going to be bad for your site. Okay, local backlinks. You need niche relevant and city relevant backlinks. We've talked about relevant backlinks. So you know what relevant backlinks are. Let's say you have a guitar website. Well, you want to have backlinks to a guitar website that are instrument related, guitar related, the music. Those are relevant to the guitar site. Local backlinks are slightly different, because there are 2 factors that make up good backlinks and relevant backlinks. Niche relevant, let's say the plumber, so any links, backlinks that are DIY or plumbing related coming back would be niche relevant backlinks. However, city relevant backlinks are also good backlinks for a local. Let's say, for example, you've got a mums and toddlers playgroup that had a burst whatever, and they had to call an emergency plumber. The emergency plumber came, and there was a story made about it. So on this Mums and Toddlers Play website, they said on their blog, today we had a lot of commotion and we had such and such plumbers, backlink to the plumber site, come and fix our whatever. Well, that would be an irrelevant niche, because mums and toddlers and plumbers, they're not niche related, but it would be a city relevant backlink. So same city. So that'd be a good backlink there. So that's what Google wants to see. They want to see local backlinks. So you want to get those backlinks. So how do you get them? This is quite important. This is a neat trick. Local res, we call them res sites, restored expired sites in your niche. I'm just going to show you something. I'm going to go through this quite quickly because we don't have time. But first of all, you've got to find age domains that are in your location. All right. So the best way to do that is sign into GoDaddy, and then click Advanced Search, and under it, exact match, do contains. And let's say we're picking out Dallas, for example. That's the city we're in. Say, and then select .com, org, info, US, co, and biz. Minimum age, we'll select 1 year, and in the auction section, click end in less than 10 days. Okay. So now we want to select expiring, public, all of these four, top four here, and a minimum price $5 to $12. $12 is the price which expiring domains start at that aren't being bidded on. Okay, so now then run the search, and now we've got, see all of these different Dallas ones. Well, I've done this exercise already, and this is what I came up with. This is the list of domains that were available for Dallas. So there's quite a few. We've got 312 expired or expiring domains. Now I ran these through to get the domain authority, etc. And this is the information that I've got. I've sorted them in order. So I've got 30 which have metrics with page authority metrics in double figures. So then I go through the sourcing process to find the Majestic, see if it's indexed in Google, who is details, see if it's been dropped at all. And I did a couple just to have a look to get some information for you here. So we got Dallas Movers tx.net. Now if we go to have a look on Majestic now, so you can just have a quick look. Okay, so we've got, what I'm looking at is the referring domains. Okay, don't worry about the trust flow. So the referring domains and the anchor text. So we've got decent phrases. We've got one which has foreign anchor text coming from one domain. It's not a big deal. So this would be okay to pick as your domain. So we got a domain authority of 15. Most important, it's Dallas. So what we would then do is take this and have a quick look at archive.org. and put that into the box here and have a look to see what reference they've got on archive.org. And then we can see here there's some activity. So go to the most recent. It is slow, archive.org. And but anyway, this will update, and there is content here, and you can then copy this content. Well, purchase the domain, copy the content, and you can think, well, I've got a plumbing site. What's this got to do with Dallas Movers? Well, this is where it comes back to relevance for location. Okay, it doesn't matter that it doesn't have to be a plumbing website. It's not like other non-local phrases. It's different. Local, city is important. Okay, so a backlink from a home page on this site would be great. So let's say you copy that, you have this and you copy this, you can easily put on here testimonials such and such plumber, test from your plumbing website, great moving company, whatever, link back to your plumbing website. Or you can have sponsor, such and such plumber sponsors Dallas movers, or whatever. Something like that. You can put in a link back to your website and make it very seem very natural. And that's the important thing about it. So you can get a whole load of these domains, local ones, and point those to your money site. Now, when you're pointing those to that, you can also power them up with Power Anchor, for example, if you want to do that, to give them more authority. So you can get as many of those as you want over time. Commenting on local sites in your niche. So here's another one that you can do. So let's say this is a search string, which you'll see in the document. So down here we've got, there's the first search string, and here's the second search string, and the third one. So if we go to have a look here, we can see I've put in, for plumbing, I've put DIY. So I've made it a bit broader. I could try plumbing, but I thought I'd try a broader one. I've put the state in here as well. You can try Dallas if you want to do city, and that's what you'd need to do, is just test. And well, let's say we open up one of these. What you need to do is check to see if they allow comments. So I'm going to go to the end of the page. They have leave a reply, add your website here, so I can see that actually they do allow comments, and they let you add links. The anchor text here is the person's name, so this one is going to shopannies.blogspot.com. Okay, and they've actually put in their link here anyway. So you could get a local backlink from that site, and you'd have to have a look at the post and read the post. Well, this is about a simple porch sign, and what they're saying about this is, why don't you make a porch that looks like that? So all you would need to do is say, great idea, fantastic porch DIY project to do. So, and then you'd get your backlink. So these are just letting those people add their link accordingly. So that would be a good local backlink to that. And you do the same with the other search strings as well. You just find the sites that you can comment on. Then we're looking at other backlinks, forums, and let's just get to the. So here's Dallas Powered by vBulletin. I forgot to mention as well, you would be looking at using the Moz toolbar to see the authority, the domain authority of these. So if it's got a domain authority of 1, maybe Moz isn't working on these, for example, but you want to go for a higher domain authority if you go into the effort. So this one, for example. With forums, it's a bit trickier to get backlinks from, because a lot of them don't allow backlinks, but don't allow anchor text or links at all. Those that do, it might be tricky to get a link on there. What you can do with forums is create a post. So let's say this was the site we were going to do a post on. What you would do is go to, well, usually you'd see if there were any welcoming new visitors, but it doesn't seem like they have that here. Bird chat. So this is about birds, but it's probably birds in the locality. But you'd need to check to make sure that it was all it was either in your state or city, whichever the search was, or it was your niche. So if it's not in your city or state and it's not in your niche, then there's no point getting a backlink from it, because you wouldn't tick the boxes of any of niche relevant or city relevant. So forums are a bit harder to get links from, but if you can get them, they can be good, because especially if it's say in the same niche as yours and in the same city. Okay, moving on anyway. High authority backlinks. This is what we talk about for ranking any site. So you need, for local, right, you need a small quantity of powerful backlinks. Okay, you don't need hundreds of powerful backlinks, because that's not natural. Sites don't get that in the real world. But a few very good high quality backlinks. You don't need that many backlinks to rank a site, and if you do need that many backlinks, then probably Google's caught on and they've devalued your links. That's what tends to happen. Okay, so the small quantity of powerful backlinks, super link structures. We're bringing in another new module in the very near future, which is all about super link structures. We've got software and everything that you can use on that, and this is going to make all the difference to your SEO. And this is a super link structure. Looks scary really, but it's not a huge amount of work to do. The purpose of a super link structure, on which we touched on in the last webinar we did, was to link high quality to high quality, and what we're doing is we're passing on domain authority. We're passing on domain authority from all these web properties. We're passing on, and they feed through domain authority. It can be known as domain authority stacking as well. So the guest post, this on its own to the money site, is same niche, so it's great, same niche. The domain authority of the guest post is going to be a good domain authority, so it's a good backlink, but on its own it hasn't got that much power. It's a great backlink, and it will help you rank, but you're going to need to have a lot of them if you're just sticking with tier 1 guest posts. However, if you start adding, if comments are switched on, if you start adding comments and you add social signals to those, bear in mind you can automate the social signals using Drip Revolution, for example. That's a great way to work with this, and it's what we recommend. You can also link other guest posts to here, and that all of this, the culmination of all of this, focuses massive authority on this guest post here, and domain authority can be passed on. Okay, so you stack the domain authority, so you pass that on. The do follow links in all of these let the power flow. Okay, so what you're doing is the power is flowing through these do follow links, and all of this activity is dripped to all of these different properties, and as it's dripped, this starts swelling and maturing, and the power and authority that's passed on as everything is growing and feeding through the do follow link and the domain authority building up, this becomes more and more powerful as time goes on. And you don't need that many of these, and it's better to have a few of these than it is a few of these super link structures than it is to have a high number of single tier, just single one tier post. For example, Google prefers this, not as an SEO tactic. They don't like SEO tactics, period, but they prefer to see this, because this is what happens in a real link structure that happens in the real world, which is not SEO engineered by people like us, for example. So this might happen naturally, and this would be a natural high-powered backlink, but we can generate that, we can create that, because we have all of the tools available to us to do that. And let's say, for example, you didn't have this as a guest post, you had this as one of your local sites, age sites, which I just showed you about with the Dallas Movers. That was your Dallas Movers site, for example, that would become a really powerful domain with all of this, a really powerful backlink with all of this pointing to your money site. That'd be great. Okay, the last point pretty much is local social reference. So the local social reference is what we're looking at is Google+, Facebook and Twitter. Those are the main accounts that we're looking at for a local social reference. So what that means is local, personal, social accounts that look real and link back to the local business website. So let's say, for example, in the real world, Joe the plumber just did fix someone's well, they did the mums and toddlers group, and some mum at the top said in a post on Facebook, Hero Joe the plumber fixed a major problem, and they link back to the website. For example, that could happen quite naturally, or for other reasons, people link to other local properties. Well, this is a local social reference, and Google's put in a lot of weight on this now, because if they see local activity in social, that tells Google that the company is active in the locality because they're being talked about on social activity. So what you want to have is to have these built, have these accounts built. So what we're doing, we see the importance of this. So what we're doing, we're going to be offering a service where we build these for you, and we're going to be building not just blank accounts. We're going to be building a whole social account and several of them where they're tagged in the locality of the city or town where your site is. So it's going to be great for you. You don't have to do all of that brain death, tedious stuff, and we'll do that all for you if you want us to do that. Okay, but that will all be ready for when the module's going up now. So it's all about your site optimized to your niche and neighborhood locality. So that's on-page optimized and referencing all of the neighborhood areas like we saw in Houston, and getting your images tagged and your embedded Google map. You need city relevant backlinks, and you need niche relevant backlinks, and also super high authority and relevant backlinks like the super link structures. And then finally the local social buzz. And that's it. That's in a nutshell. That's what we're looking at creating with the SEO for local. And if you get this right, you do all of this, as long as your site's not in penalty, you will rank. This will get you ranking on the first page of Google for sure. So over to you then, John.
That's awesome. Thank you very, very much indeed for running through that. And guys, just give me, in fact, let's rate Chris, shall we? A score out of 10. 1 is absolutely terrible teaching, and 10 is awesome, gobsmacking, powerful stuff. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you guys. You've got 100% 10s. There's no one giving you less than a 10.
Didn't get any ones.
Some joke.
Someone's giving me a 9.9.
All right, well done, Chris. Very good. No, it was really, really good, nice and clear. And I'm going to just take the screen back, and we'll do a bit of Q&A and make sure that yeah, thanks everyone, and well done, Chris. We'll do a bit of Q&A. And I've got a few questions marked up, so let me just find them, because of course now we've got all those 10s in there. The questions I had marked earlier are scrolled up the screen a little bit.
I did see someone's question when they were asking about what about schema markup. Well, schema markup is, yes, add schema markup, great. There's, bearing in mind there's 200 or more ranking signals that Google monitor, and schema markup is just one small part of that. What I've covered is the big ones, and so we're focusing on the big ones. We can't focus on all of the tiny ones, the smaller ones, the 200 odds or more. So just focus on these because life's too short, isn't it? So but you focus on these, and the smaller ones will a lot of them will fit in. But things like schema markup, if you're able to do that, then great, then do it. If you can't, if you can't be bothered or whatever, don't worry about it too much.
Yeah, the main thing is to make it clear on page to Google what locality, what location your site is all about. I think that's fair to say in summary of that area. Chris, one question here from Scott's coming. I noticed he asked it earlier, and just to clarify, if you would, about the the cities vice the little subdivisions of a city. Scott says someone's still going to type Plumber Houston, not Plumber Rice or Plumber Bel Air necessarily. So just clarify what you meant about that, would you?
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Google's not. Well, my point of showing the Google of Plumber Bel Air or whatever was that to show you that Google does differentiate, and they'll locate what you're searching for. So if you're putting in Houston, well, let's say that the plumber is in Bel Air, and the other plumber is in Houston Heights. Well, Google will determine which is the most relevant, therefore, according to the location of the searcher. So if the searcher is closer to Bel Air, then Google's going to be more likely to show the results for the one in Bel Air. However, if you're optimized and you're very relevant for Bel Air, but you're in Houston Heights, if you've optimized for that, then Google is going to be inclined to incorporate you into the Houston search, where the individual is based more in Bel Air. So that's why you should make sure that you include Bel Air within your optimization if you covered Bel Air, for example. But if you didn't include that, then Google's probably not even going to put you in the listings necessarily.
So in practical terms then, Chris, you would have some, because Tom's asking a question here, should each page of our websites therefore show all neighborhoods and zip codes and the Google map? So in practical terms, what are you going to have on your website?
Yeah. Yes, on your page you should put in we cover such and such areas, and you would list all of those 15 areas, for example, in Houston, and then you would put the zip codes, the areas that you cover, in a smaller writing at the bottom. It's not for the public to read; it's for information, just showing as a lump of text. So you're not going to get penalized for it unless you made it white text on white background, that sort of thing. But if you just open up these are the zip codes we cover, that's fine. You're covering all of the zip areas. That's fine. But you want to name the areas as well, so you're being relevant to whatever the searcher is searching for. So if the searcher is searching for a zip code or a neighborhood area, but you've not optimized for that, you may or may not show up in the search. If you've optimized for it, then you'll stand a lot higher chance of ranking for that. And if you're promoting for that as well, and you include that in some anchors, maybe Bel Air, you mentioned Bel Air as an anchor, then that's going to help you with your ranking there, and it's going to help you diversify your anchor text profile.
Yeah, fantastic. And David asked a great question. How do you do social signals for a niche like vasectomy services where patients don't really want to go public? And David, it's a very good point. And of course, underlying all of these activities is you've got to stay natural. So yeah, if if you're in vasectomy or even worse niches that people certainly aren't going to talk about on their social profiles, then you've got to use common sense that applies there. So you're absolutely right. I'm just going to scroll up a bit, Chris, because I marked some of the questions from earlier in the box, and I'll read them out to you if I may. So, well, actually, this one I can probably answer. Daniel's asking about, because of Power Anchor and our guest post service, aren't we going to end up getting duplication? We're going to have multiple links on the same guest posts with Power Anchor campaigns running to that guest post? Well, the answer is no. We don't have that many customers, and we have multiple. Our guest post service, I don't know how many different guest post sites we've got now, Chris, in our sort of database, but hundreds, hundreds and hundreds, and
thousands. Yeah, hundreds and hundreds.
So, it's really unlikely, Daniel. It's certainly not in any way that's going to be a structured way that suddenly you're going to have all these Power Ranker campaigns going to the same site. No, absolutely not. We just got big enough numbers that that's not a problem. And if there is any overlap, it'll be sort of in a natural way, because occasionally you do get sort of natural overlap in that way. Rafa, or is it Rafa, I'm not sure, is asking, is it okay to have a press release every month for a local biz site?
Yeah, sure it is, yes. You talk about a different subject. You can even link to different pages on your site to spread the anchor text, spread the links going to your site. But yeah, definitely, that's no problem at all. It's advisable to do that as well. Companies do that all the time in the real non-SEO world.
Great.
Because it's great for traffic.
Yeah, it's very hard to go wrong with press releases, isn't it, Chris? Because that's such a sort of natural resource, if you like, on the internet. Yeah. Brian's asking about restored sites, and he's asking, would you, everybody, Chris showed how he restored an expired domain for Dallas. I think it was Salas you were showing. Brian's asking, would you restore the site to make it look the same now as it did then? And the answer is, yes, preferably. The most important thing, of course, is to have the content on. You'd want to make it look similar as you can, but don't stress about making it look identical. I think is the websites do change. People take images down. People change their theme and so on. So don't stress too much about it. But yeah, ideally you want it to look the same.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, and there's a couple more here. Oh yeah, well, on the same topic of we were just talking about a moment ago, Mike saying, are you saying separate pages for each county, or one county page that has a reference to all the towns within? Well, I think you answered that pretty much, Chris. You just want to reference all of the areas within your site, not necessarily have a separate page for each area, unless you had a business purpose for having a separate page for each area.
Yes.
Yes,
that's right.
Okay.
Yes, that's right. So if your emergency plumber covered all of Houston neighborhoods, then you would only need to have the one page for that phrase, emergency plumber Houston, but you cover all of the neighborhoods and the zips within that page. Yeah.
Fantastic. And Ray's asking, Chris, about, hi Ray, is asking about, taking it London as an example, and knowing how a city is broken up in Google's eyes. What would you do for London? Same principle applies?
Yeah, same principle. Yeah, so you've got East London, West London, North London,
Ealing, Islington, Westminster, South Kensington,
right,
Kensington, all of that sort of stuff. Same principle. Okay, great.
And also any slang phrases that are known in the locality for a particular area. So if you're in a city, it might be known to the locals as a name which people outside of the locality don't know what you're on about. That's also very relevant, and Google's mentioned that specifically, that if those areas, they're going to be looking at those, and there'll be optimization factors for people who run with those. So you know your area. Google knows that if you know your area, then people will search for that area, and so if you've optimized for it, you stand a better chance of ranking than those who don't.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Actually brings up an example. My local city here in the UK, Salisbury, is known locally as Sarum, S-A-R-U-M, because that's the Latin name for it. There's a lot of businesses that are Sarum this and Sarum that. So there's a classic example of an adjective or a noun, a name that is not well known outside Salisbury in the UK, which actually is closely associated with it. So a really good example there.
Yeah.
Guys, I think we're pretty much, I want to move on. We've covered a lot of the questions. I haven't covered every single one. I apologize because we've got a lot of other stuff to go through tonight before we finish. So we will try and come back to Q&A at the end. And if there's something, if you've got a burning question that I've missed, please bring it up again. But we'll move on for right now. So go on, Chris. Was there one you wanted to hit?
Yeah, just as a quick answer to a lot of questions that have been asked, a lot of you have asked about citations, directories, and how to get into the 3-pack. We're going to cover that in the next webinar. Okay, so we haven't covered that on here, and what about map consistency, someone's asked for. So we're going to cover all of that information next time.
Yeah, we wanted to divide it in two, so it was manageable chunks. So this is all about, what Chris has been teaching now is all about getting the organic local listings. What we'll cover next is the 3-pack listings, and so we'll do that on the next webinar. More stuff coming. All right, Chris, thanks for that. Let's, in fact, I'm going to hand back to you in just a moment, but guys, I want to introduce the Protector plugin, which I know you've been very patient waiting for, and we've talked about it before and promised it, and it's been late and late and late, and we've had more and more teething problems. And let me tell you, to get a to throw together a piece of software and throw it up for sale is relatively quick and easy, but you know, they're fraught with problems and bugs and stuff, and you know, to really make sure you got a robust piece of software that is working well and isn't going to let your customers down and is going to work for the long term and is clean code and optimized, it always takes longer than you think, about 3 times longer than you think. I think there's a magical universe figure of 3, which is that things take 3 times the time you think they're going to take when you start. But anyway, it is now ready, and it will be on sale for you next week, I promise, and that is our mini site or PBN Protector plugin. So what's it all about? If you haven't heard us before talking about this, is that Google is working hard, very hard indeed, to detect and de-index PBNs, and they're very good at it now. They're very good at finding PBNs and de-indexing them. Of course, if they de-index them, that makes that PBN useless. Or mini sites, as we like to call them. As you know, our mini sites are a little bit different from the classic PBNs. And we know from a leaked document, there's a Google employee, well over a year ago now, getting on it a while ago now, who was dissatisfied with Google, and he actually leaked the document, a briefing document that Google gives to their employees on what to look for in when they do manual reviews of sites. And so we know a lot about what Google is looking for in sites, SEO related sites, PBNs, which they're then going to de-index. So one of the things that we know they're looking for is indeed, you know, let me ask you this question, in fact, put in the chat box, give me your, if you're going to look at someone's site and say, is it a PBN or not, what's your top most sure sign that you're looking at a PBN? Give me an answer in the chat box if you got an idea of what would stand out to you or stand out to a Google manual reviewer. Yeah, poor content, says Patrick. Phone number, no, not so much that. No traffic is one. Unrelated, unrelated niches, common IP address, quality, list of homepage posts. Yeah, a few of those coming through. Not the same niche. You're absolutely right. Tons of links, bunch of posts. Most of you got it if you're on that that track. If you've got a homepage full of links, full of posts, 30 to 50 posts on the homepage, well, there aren't many natural websites that do that. Websites that do that are PBN websites, because people want to make maximum use of their PBN, so they put 30 or 50 posts on the homepage because they want contextual links, they want their links in context, in content, and they want them on the homepage for maximum power. And that is a sure sign of it, and one of the ways that Google finds PBNs and de-indexes them. So what's more normal? Well, real blogs have a small number of posts, or a lot of them now have snippets. Very typical of a blog. We're going to show you some examples in a minute. Chris is going to demonstrate. Very typically now blogs have snippets, so they have a few sentences from a post and then a read more link, so that you then click on and go through the post and read the rest of the post. And so on the home page you might have 5, 10 or 15 snippets with links through to the post, but not 30 or 50 full-length posts. But the problem is, we're building PBNs. We're building mini sites. We want 30 or 50 links on the homepage, 30 or 50 posts on the homepage, because the homepage links give us the most power. Now, if we use snippets, there are snippets where themes either display snippets in the theme or plugins that will display snippets on the homepage and do what we want. Trouble is, those snippets strip the tags. That means they strip the link out of the snippet. There is an existing plugin that we've used in the past before we built our own Protector plugin that keeps the tags keeps the links, but you have no control about which section of your post shows on the home page. So you've got no control about what section of the post appears on the home page, so you can put your link in. And the links show on the home page, so that again, on a manual reviewer will come to your page and see dozens of links on your home page. So we tackled these problems head on by coming up with a plugin that would at last give us full control of those features that we don't want that manual reviewer to see, that makes our mini sites look like good quality normal sites. The Protector plugin automatically selects the snippet in your post with your anchor text in, with your link in. So it automatically does that. It's fully customizable. You can have the length, the color, the snippet layout, and more options set as you want them for your website. And it's totally hidden from Google on your site. Google do not know that this plugin is on your site. We've got it totally hidden. It doesn't appear in the source code, and you are completely safe from Google knowing that you have the Protector plugin on your site. Now, I have to say, we're not going to sell this. We've got no plans to sell this publicly. Google probably won't even know that it ever exists, let alone be looking for it, because we're just a very small few people in SEO Breakthrough on the international scale of users and SEOers. So not only will Google probably not ever hear about this, but even if they did know about it, they wouldn't be able to find out that it was on your site. Anyway, so Chris, would you like to show us how it works?
Sure, yes.
Let me see if I can. I don't know which one you are again. Is this you?
Right, okay. Yes, that's me.
Okay.
Okay.
Brilliant. You're coming through.
All right, so let's say this is a typical mini site, your average mini site. So what we've got is full page posts. Just got 3 or 4 of them. This is without the Protector on. So what I'm going to do is show you what we're going to do with the Protector. So here we've got it. Here we've got it. It's going to activate it now. Okay, so it's activated, and I'm going to go to the settings area. I'm going to show you just take you through the steps. You can change the number of words that show in the snippet. So I'm going to keep it at 100 here. I can choose if it's going to be exactly 100 words or to finish on the end of a sentence. So I'm going to click sentence, but you can do exactly if you want. Read more link. Add a read more link to the excerpt. So yes, I do want to have a read more link on it. I'll explain that when we get to the page itself. So I can have it either as a text which says read more, and that's just to click the text, or I can have it as a button. So I'm going to have it as a button. I can have the button say read more, or I can change it to say full article. I can change the color of the button. So you can see here on the sides it's orangey. So let's go and have an orange button. As you can see, I've already coded it to be orange, but I can choose that whatever color I wanted to have on that. If I chose text, I would then change the color of the text here of the read more button. So once you've done that, there's the anchor text color. So I've already changed this. I've made this the same color or a very similar color to the text. You can see here the text is gray, and you can see here wasp trap is an anchor text link. You can see here it's clickable, and it's orange. That's the default that's shown on the home page. Okay, so I don't want to have this appear as if on the home page that it's an anchor text in the snippet. I want it to blend in. So only on the snippet does it change it to grey. It remains orange on the post itself. So if you clicked on the read more link, then you would see this whole post in full, and this would be orange. Okay, so it doesn't change anything there. Just moving on a bit, we have default ticks on these, so you can keep those the same, but for example here, generate excerpts even if the post has a custom excerpt attached. So some themes have excerpts already and the excerpt's already set, but remember they strip the tag. So what we want to have is this generated, and we want this to be the snippet that shows on the home page. Remove shortcodes, so we only want to have what we want the plugin to show. Keep everything default checked. The image, yes, we want an image. Want it to show the image. If it's got a video, yes, we want it to show the video. So the plugin will choose the video as the default usually over the image. If the image is right at the top, then it'll select the image. You can choose the size of the image as a thumbnail, small, medium or large size. The same as the video, and you can choose whereabouts it appears, left of text, right of text, above the text or under it. These tags are by default it's remove all tags except the following. A is selected for anchor text and P for paragraph. Okay, so you don't need to select anything else, but you can if you want to, but you probably won't need to. So then just click Save Changes. Now I'm going to go to the page here and refresh the page. So this is what it did look like. So I'll refresh the page. And now we've got something completely different. Wasp trap here, you can see it's clickable, but it's now you can't see, it's no longer orange. We've got full article button. So if I click on this, that will take me to the full post, where you can see the text hasn't altered the text here, and it's done that to all of these 3 posts. So now it's become a lot shorter. The whole page doesn't drag like several meters long. It's now very short and succinct. It will always select your anchor text. It's programmed to do that. So wherever you've got your anchor text, it will do that. You can also omit anchor text links if you want to. So you can see here, we've just got wasp trap on here. If we go to the post itself, you can see there's a link here, a link here, and a link here. I had omitted all of those links. There's a setting on the post page itself saying, do you want to omit any links? So I entered these to omit these because I didn't want them shown on the home page. And I only wanted to have the wasp trap on there. And that's it really. It's this is how you see blogs or sites where they have the snippet. You have this button here to show you the full article, and it looks just like this. So this looks like a real site because PBNs, they're just not like this because the tags are stripped. So it's a fantastic plugin.
Yeah, PBNs aren't like this precisely because there is no other tool, no other plugin, no other software that does what we've created the protector to do, and we know that because we looked for it. We don't creating software, guys, is a headache. We don't create software for the fun of it when we can find it somewhere else, but we looked and we couldn't find it anywhere else, and so you know for sure that other PBNs don't look like this because there's no plugins that will do this except for ours. So you've got a natural looking site which retains the home page linking power of your links, but retains the natural look and feel of a regular website, regular blog. So it's pretty cool. Yes, Pete says that's pretty cool. Thanks, Pete. Thanks very much. Steve's asking, will it be okay to use with dynamic? Yes, absolutely. Works with dynamic. Works with any theme. We haven't come across any themes with conflict at the moment, and again, you'll find cheap plugins. Sometimes you get a lot of conflicts with themes if they've been badly coded. We've had a very good coder on this, and he's worked tirelessly. It's one of the reasons why it's taken a long time to make sure it's absolutely top quality software, so we're not going to get theme conflicts. And with those that we've seen, we noted quite a few issues that we've dealt with over time, haven't we, Chris, in developing this in terms of conflicts and other issues?
Yes. Yes. That's right.
So,
Yeah.
so that's one of the reasons why it's taken us a while. So, but of course, we can't promise, absolutely blind that there won't be a conflict. If you find one, of course, we'll fix it
Yeah.
to the best of our ability. But we're pretty sure it's pretty cool and robust bit of software. Yeah, no problem with Easy Blog Networks, Kevin, absolutely fine. It's WordPress theme. Chris is asking about the cost. So we're going to, as I said, release it next week. And let me bring my slide up with the costs on. Sorry, not that one, this one. So final testing and set up to come. Well, we've done really the testing. We just really need to set up the sales page and everything. And we're looking at a really low figure for this because although it's unique and there's none other like it, so I suppose we could charge quite a lot of money. We want to just charge what's sort of reasonable. I guess you could pay. Sometimes I saw a bit of software sold last year for it was $1,000 a month, so $12,000 a year. And of course, if you wanted to carry on, you carry on longer. And I was thinking, that's ridiculous. I could have an army of people working for me for that price, just doing everything manually. Why buy the software? And so I think software has an ultimate value, no matter how effective it is in financial terms in your business. And the Protector plugin is very effective. That there's always a limit to the financial worth of a piece of software, because ultimately you can do everything. You can code everything in HTML if you need to. So we're looking at a small monthly fee. For most of you, it's going to be $7. If you do run your own agency businesses with multiple clients and things, then you probably want an agency license, which is going to be more like 17. But we've priced it that for most of you it's $7. So hopefully there's a smile on your face appearing right now that we've made it pretty cheap, or pretty inexpensive, not cheap but inexpensive. On sale next week, I promise, or I'll eat my hat. And so we'll get that out to you. It'll come out by email. Obviously, watch for emails, and we'll do a proper demonstration, video demonstration, explain exactly how it works for you and what to do with it when you get it. And let me just bring the questions back up. Any questions from you guys on that? And I've lost my question box.
Yeah, Tim's asked a question. He says, so a manual reviewer won't look at the page source and see the hidden links. There aren't any hidden links, Tim. The way the plugin works, it picks a snippet out of the post itself and makes sure that it's picked out a paragraph or sentences which has your anchor text in. So it hasn't hidden anything. Nothing's hidden. It's just taken a snippet, just like any other WordPress theme does. It takes a snippet from the post itself. The only difference is those themes strip the tags, but this doesn't strip the tags, and that's why you have an anchor text which will give full weight on the home page.
But bear in mind as well, it's entirely customizable. So if you want to display your links, we recommend don't. We recommend have them the same color as the text. But if you want to display your links, you can. Everything is customizable within those settings. If you just keep the default settings, you'll be essentially following our recommendations. Miguel's asking, can he buy it later if he doesn't have PBNs? Well, yes. I don't promise that we'll keep the price down. What we'll typically do with any of these tools and softwares that we release is we'll offer a much lower price to start with for those of you who want to get in, because when you buy new software at launch, there's always an element of maturity, and you're often paying a lower price but getting something that's less mature and may have the odd teething troubles or isn't as clear to use, or the help files aren't there yet, and so on. And so that's why one of the reasons, I think, one of the justifications for expecting a lower price when you get something straight up when it comes out. So you can pay later, of course, but no guarantee it'll be the same price. Chris is asking about a yearly fee. Chris, I'll give that some thought. We haven't actually set up the buy buttons yet, so I will certainly think about that over the next week, and we'll get it all out to you, as I said, by email. Fantastic. Looks good, says Graham. Thanks, says Chris. Okay, Sean's asking about the pricing. Sorry, I didn't have the slide showing before. So I haven't actually finalize these, but I'm thinking about a $7 fee that will cover most of you guys who are building SEO for yourself. If you're running an agency with multiple clients, then we'll have a license for more, it depends on the number of sites you can install it on. That's more like $17 a month for you agency guys. All right. No, Bob, that's not per mini site. $7 per month will cover multiple sites. Chris, we've priced this too low again, haven't we? We probably could charge $7 a site, but it's no. $7 will give you a few sites. I can't remember the exact number we decided on, but as I said, the idea is that $7 will cover most of you you guys doing SEO for yourselves, and those of you who are more sort of professional level or doing client SEO will need something more like the $17 payment. All right. One-time price options, other options we'll consider over the weekend. I've seen those of you asking for those things, so I'll certainly bear that in mind. I've been playing with these little push notifications, so I've signed up to a couple, and they appear on my screen very annoyingly. So please ignore that. Right.
Asking if there's any detectable footprints, and there's no detectable footprints at all. There's no footprints at all.
Absolutely not. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Google cannot tell from your site that the plugin is installed on your site. It is completely hidden from Google's view. They cannot tell whatsoever.
Yeah, that's right. This is not a dodgy. This is not dodgy black hat stuff. This is just making something work for us. We don't want to have a page that's full of text. We only want to have a snippet, which sites do have snippets. We just want to make sure that the anchor text is in the snippet. That's all we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a few other bits and pieces, but that's it.
Yeah, and interesting that, I mean, that will probably get other people to copy us now, but interesting there's no other plugins that do this right now that we're aware of. We looked hard, as I said, so we're leading the way there, and you guys will be the first to have it, and you'll be protecting your mini sites and PBNs from Google's prying eyes and keeping them safe. There's nothing more frustrating than building a mini site or a PBN and then having it de-indexed and having to start all over again. Okay, guys, so we're going to wrap up with the last part here, and then we'll head over for some final Q&A. I will just mention very briefly, I'm not going to belabor it because we talked about it before, but we have talked about our site restorer software. So Chris showed earlier about how manually you can find the domain, restore the domain, and that's one of the most powerful backlinks because think about it, the perfect backlinking site is someone else's site. And Chris and I are thinking this is the biggest revolution since we brought Power Anchor out a year and a bit ago. The perfect backlinking site is someone else's site. So we do this in two ways in SEO Breakthrough. We've got guest posts, which are on other people's guest post sites, and we've got restored expired domains, res sites, restoring other people's sites and putting them back on the internet just as they were before. So you're not building a site and putting your content on it and then trying to make it, a PBN or whatever. You're actually bringing back to life a site that used to be on the internet and it still exists, and you're on the Wayback Machine, you're putting it back in place. And it's a really, really safe, niche-specific, highly, not just safe, but highly powerful and relevant link. And you can do it manually using the Wayback Machine. Chris just covered it very briefly earlier in this webinar, and of course we've got more detail in SEO Breakthrough on how to do it manually. And you can just basically, it's fundamentally like buying the site off its previous owner and just getting it yourself. And then it's very easy to add a paragraph to the home page with your link in, or an insert with links to resources, or some other natural way to insert your link onto the already existing site content. Very, very powerful. The challenge is, of course, it's time consuming. So Q software. Software is what we use to save manual tasks, because to do it all manually, restore an expired domain, we've got our guys do it now. I don't even know how long they take. They're pretty good at it now because they do lots of it. But you're talking for a really swept up, familiar webmaster, hours still to do it. But what if a piece of software could do it in a few clicks of a button? And that's what we've got under development in coding right now, taking much longer than we hoped. We hoped we'd have this out before Christmas. It's now February and it's still a way off. But it's a challenging piece of software because we're really doing it very, very well indeed. There are other restored site software restorers out there, but none of them are good enough for us. Again, we don't want to build this software for fun. We looked for a software that was out there that we could use already, and all of them have footprints. All of them have issues. So we've built it right this time. And you can imagine this, imagine you could go to GoDaddy and purchase from auctions an $11 site, That's in module 3 in the members area, how to do this. You can put the domain name in the software, press a button, and bingo, the site is restored and uploaded to your hosting account. That's essentially what we've got in this software, so it's going to be very, very powerful. And I can't really stress enough the power that you have with a piece of software like this, power to generate the safest, most real, most powerful backlinks at the press of 1 or 2 or 3 buttons. Combine that with guest posts and Power Anchor, and you've got something very, very powerful indeed. So yeah, as I said, there are other softwares out there, but they've all got errors, they've all got footprints, and we did try to find the one that would do what we need, and we couldn't. And that's why we started off down this path, a very, very challenging path of building our own that does it right. I mean, the reason these other sites, these other softwares have issues is because it's really hard to do this right, and that's why it's taken us a while. Any questions on the PBN mini site protector plugin that we're releasing to you next week, or on what I've just covered? And then we're going to cover the last section. We've still got one more section to cover in this coaching call. Yeah, I'm not going to talk. Some people are posting other software tools in the chat and saying, what about this one, what about this one? I'm not going to talk about anyone else's stuff. I don't want to disrespect anyone else's stuff, and so I'm not going to talk about any by name, but essentially we looked to find a software that would do this and decided to make our own.
Yeah, there's a question which I could just answer quickly.
Yeah.
John, Simon's asking, what about Google's recent update that devalues links of expired domains if they were registered?
Yeah, good point.
Making them effectively worthless. Well, that's not exactly what Google have said. Google said if you purchase an expired domain and you create, let's say you purchased a domain about a moving company, and you turn that into a PBN that's about computer games. Well, they're nothing to do with each other. They're completely worlds apart. So what Google says is, if that's happening and the content's nothing to do with it at all, they'll devalue the links. They have said that. Whether that's implemented yet or not, it's unknown, but it's something that they're going to bring in probably. So that's why it's even more important now to go down the restored site, because if you use that, if you buy the mover site and you turn it into a mover site, you've kept it the same, so it's the same niche. So therefore Google won't devalue the links on those. That's what it's about.
Yeah, absolutely. That change makes this even more important, as Chris says. And
it does, yeah.
You know, fundamentally, it's like just taking someone else's domain and taking ownership of it. You're bringing the domain as it was back to life, and so there's no issues of safety or devaluing links or anything like that at all. All right. So let's move on to the final section that we're going to cover tonight, and that is another tool, and sadly this one is not ours, but it came across my desk last week, as they say, and I got an email from a colleague, and he showed me this stuff and says it's coming out next week. Will you promote it? And you guys, well, when did we last promote something? I mean, when did we last promote something that we don't use ourselves? I can't even remember. Years. You know, I used to do a lot of promotion, and Chris did too, but actually I got bored of it all. And the things we recommend, guys, are the things that we use in SEO Breakthrough. So the tools we recommend in SEO Breakthrough are tools that we use in our SEO. It's as simple as that. And so normally when people approach me and say, will you promote this for me? I say no. Or at least I don't say no. I normally make some excuse. I try never to be rude to anyone, but I make some excuse saying, well, that wouldn't really fit my list, or I'm doing an internal training that week, or whatever. But this one, Chris and I grabbed our attention immediately. Because it's very, very good, and it's a lovely tool actually, and it's not an expensive tool either. And for the price, it's tremendous, absolutely tremendous. So user engagement and action. I mentioned this at the beginning. So there's no point having traffic coming to your website or your client's website that doesn't engage with your website. So we put websites on the internet in order for people who arrive there to do something. don't we? There's no point in having a website if visitors just come and then go. We want visitors to come to our website and either buy or opt in or click on the call button for local particularly, or register or do something else that we want them to do on our website. The purpose of our website being there is for visitors that come there to interact with it in some way that makes us money or promotes our business or whatever it might be, or promotes our message. So you've got to engage people, you've got to engage visitors that arrive in your website, and that's true of every single website because, like I said, after all, there's no point putting a website up if you don't actually want it to achieve some kind of a engagement with a visitor. So that's why anyone has a website, your client, you, or anyone. And I don't know, guys, if you ever done any basic marketing. I remember, I did a basic marketing course years ago, and there's this little acronym AIDA, A-I-D-A, attention, interest, decide, or decision, and action. And it's an age-old, and fundamental, part of sort of the Bible of marketing. And so getting people to engage is all about that. First of all, you want to grab their attention. So they arrive on your page. Remember, you've got seconds, just a few seconds to grab their attention so they don't click away or click the back button or go somewhere else. Then, once you've got their attention, okay, step one is done. Now you've got to get their interest. So you grab their attention initially, you grab, their eyes are drawn to your page or something on your page. Then you've got to put enough in there that pricks their interest. And then you're into the sort of the latter stages, helping them to decide on a course of action decision, and then helping them and directing them to take action. So this tool is a very cool and super effective tool for doing just exactly that. And I'm going to demonstrate it to you. So let me demonstrate it to you. Now, it's a video tool, and therefore the demonstration is going to be rubbish on GoToWebinar. Hang on, I've lost my browser now. Just 1 second. Bring it across here. It's going to be a pretty poor tool in GoToWebinar, and I've got some links here because GoToWebinar doesn't play. Here, my notes. Just move those out of the way. It doesn't play videos very well because it's the the update rate is very, very slow for you. But let me just put this link in the browser and show you an example of it. And if you can just pretend that this is playing as a video, I think you'll be impressed. Okay, you can probably hear the voice at least, but you might be able to see this character down here, that he was moving fluidly and swiftly, and it's really, really intriguing. It grabs your attention straight away. And I'm going to stop him there because the video is not very good. I'll show you some other examples. So you can have a little man like that, or you can have yourself or the local business owner. Imagine your client. Okay, so there is a green screen cutout, just the image of the person. You can't, transparent background. You can't see the background at all. Powerful. Imagine if you're a local business owner and you had a lawyer's site or whatever, and then most lawyers, they have a little YouTube video somewhere on their homepage. Well, that's just rubbish. People don't, people are bored of that little YouTube video symbol there and a talking head, but something like this that seems to stand out and float on the screen and says, "Hey, I'm Joe Schmo, local DUI lawyer, and I'll help you out." Very, very powerful. Or a local plumbing guy, dressed in his plumbing overalls, carrying a toolbox and talking to his visitors that way. You've immediately grabbed people's interest. Why? I mean, maybe in 5 years' time this will be old hat again, and they'll no longer grab people's interest. But right now, people aren't used to seeing this kind of a video, and you're going to grab their interest straight away. Let me show you another 3D one here. And so you've got options to, this little bit of software will allow you to generate these things. It's another real website, and in a moment, hopefully, this one's not going to work. I know why this one's not going to work. He's got it set to first visit only, so let me just get rid of that one. So it's pretty impressive little tool. The pricing is for the launch, and again, guys, this is what you get with a launch is you end up, I bring up my little Word document back, you end up paying less at a launch, but there is a little bit of risk of the teething troubles. But the thing is, this is something where it's going to be $27 per month, after the launch. But during the launch, it's $27 one-off. payment, lifetime access, and that's those are the pros and cons of buying at launch time. At launch time, you likely get a one-off or an amazing price that's never repeated. And when you think about it, $27 a month, well, let's say 5 years. How many is that? I haven't even got the maths, but $27 a month, what, $300 a year? 5 years is at $1,500. What about $27 or $1,500? So Chris and I have got access already. We've been given complimentary access, but we've been told that if we want the agency, I actually had a bit of an argument, we've got to buy it, so I'm going to be buying the agency one-off for $67. Now, there are 2 other upsells in there that we haven't had a look at. I can't spell. I'll have a bit of a look at and spell them out there. One's called Video Profit Campus, and one's about social stuff. I hadn't had a look at those. That's not what I'm excited about. Get the upsells if you like the look of them and if they suit your business. What I do like, and what Chris and I are very keen on, is this user engagement. In fact, let me show you. You remember our Anaheim site that we built on Dynamic? Let me just bring that up and show you that it's still ranking. At least I hope it is. Let me go to google.com. Just got to go to google.com, and I got my assistant to. Oh, there we go. Google.com. Click on that. I got one of our assistants to set this up for me this morning, and he didn't set it up quite right. So then and then he'd knocked off work, so I had to go into the dashboard and set it up myself. DUI lawyer, Anaheim. There we go. And so this is our look at all those ads and everything. And where are we? Hope we haven't disappeared. I was looking earlier. We were there. There we go. DUI Law Anaheim. This is us. American Guinea Hog Association.org. And I've built the little thing to come on into this site as well. There she is.
Of course, we can't hear the audio, but there is audio on it.
Can't hear the audio. No. I really am an amateur, aren't I? Oh, guys, so you haven't been able to hear any of these audios. So this has been just the most useless demo on the planet. Well, what you have seen, at least, is the email box pop in. What she said was, of course, I got to plug my system audio back in to go to webinar for you to hear it. What she said was, this site's for rent. If you're a lawyer in the Orange County area, we'll put your content on this site, build an opt-in, blah, 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 and do all lots of good things for you, and then enter your email below. So this app, I mean, I guess we won't belabor it now, but I just wanted to bring it to your attention, because this app has some great potential to engage the visitor, keep them on the site, and get them to do what you want to do. And we're actually going to put together a bonus, Chris and I, on how to use this best to, depending on what the purpose of your site is, if it's an e-commerce site or if it's a lead generation site or local client site, what is the type of usage you want to put these little avatar videos to make best use of them. The other thing is there's a great SEO benefit to engagement, because this is so attention grabbing. It's going to reduce your bounce rate, and not only can you reduce your bounce rate because people are going to sit and watch the little video play a bit longer, but you can reduce your bounce rate because you can get them to do something. Like you can say, click this button or enter your email, so you get them to engage with your site. So you're actually going to get an SEO benefit, because lower bounce rate means higher rankings. You're going to get an SEO benefit from having this on your site and your client sites, as well as the user engagement benefits. So we like it. We think it's really cool. And one of the best things is, and actually this is something that I told them they had to do. Last week it didn't work on iPhone. So I said, if you're going to do this, it's got to work on iPhones. And they've made it work on iPhones. And I'm actually gobsmacked, because normally on an iPhone, you know, don't know how many of you have them, but you click a video on a website, the video doesn't play within the web page. It opens up a separate player and plays you the video in a separate player. That's what the iPhone typically does. But they found a way to make these videos play on an iPhone. So it's very, very cool, a very good bit of software, super easy to use. I was trying to tell you, my assistant knocked off, and he hadn't done it quite right, so I had to go in and change it, and I was able to change it in an instant. If I can do it without having any prior experience, literally, you don't even need to read the help manual. There are some help videos, you don't need them. It's so intuitive to use, and I might even show you when Chris takes over. No, it's not a WordPress plugin. And not only that, but let me show you these two demos here. Do you see the URL at the top here, videopal.me page / blah blah blah? You can insert a video on someone else's page. This is the Julep website. Julep is a separate service. So there's the actual website, julep.com. But in these demos are demos that the VideoPal guys have done. They've inserted these videos on top of someone else's website. So you can even insert your video on top of someone else's website. And all sorts of things you could do. You take a competitor's website, put an image of yourself here, pointing out things that are wrong that you could do better. So a local client, you could have the local client's website with your image pointing out stuff that's wrong with their website and services you can do for them. And imagine if you've got a local client prospect, you send them a URL, they click on it. When they click on it, they see their own site with you talking on top of it, telling them what you can do for them. Can you imagine that? They think, wait a minute, how's this URL, this address he's got, showing my site with his video on top of it? And so there's all kinds of uses for this tool that we haven't even thought of yet. But the primary one is user engagement and reduced bounce rate. And we really like it, don't we, Chris?
Yes, it's fantastic tool. Yes,
it really is good. And like I said, we promote very rarely. When we do, it's because we like something and we think it'll be good value for you guys as well. And with those prices, those launch prices, now one thing you will want is you'll want the agency license. So let me warn you right now, if you don't want to pay the 27 and then the 67 for the agency license, you're going to get, and they haven't given me one yet, you see this little thing down the bottom here, powered by videopal.io. That will still be, let me refresh the page actually, so get rid of the email submit. That will still be there unless you get the agency license. So I don't know why they chose to do that. They did choose to do it, right or wrong. This powered by VideoPal will be there unless you get the agency license. So I would reckon that you're going to need, I would budget, if you like, for buying the agency license if you want this tool. If you don't want this tool, then if you don't mind the powered by VideoPal on the little videos here, then you don't need the agency license for sure. And it comes with a lot of other things at the agency level, like many more of these avatars. And so basic thing is you can use these avatars, you can use these green screen videos with you or someone else or an actor talking with no background. You can position this left, right, up, down, wherever you want on the page. You can position this little video. You can have it autoplay, not over autoplay. You can bring up buttons that people click on. So instead of in this one where the little opt-in box comes up, you can bring up a button to click on. It says click this button right now, and just really impressive piece of software, and again being very well put together by these guys to have the most uses that you could think of, and we're very impressed. So guys, that's coming out I think on Friday. I'll send you an email. I'll explain the bonuses that we're going to offer. Now when Chris and I do promote something, on the rare occasions we do, we always try to add some value. So our value we're going to be adding here is three things, isn't it, Chris? So first of all is how best to use it depending on what your site is. If it's an e-commerce site, this is what you can use VideoPal for. If it's a lead gen site, this is what you can use, etc. Secondly, we're going to talk about how to engage the SEO benefits, primarily through reduced bounce rate of using VideoPal. And Chris, what was the third one? I've forgotten. Or wasn't there a third one?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
There was a third one. I can't remember what it is either, but we thought of another thing that we can add some value with. So there we go, guys. That is all we wanted to cover tonight. Chris, you've probably been watching the questions. Do you want to dive into the questions, any that have come up? We'll probably do another about 10-15 minutes of Q&A, and then we'll wrap up for the night.
Sure, yes. Okay, just 1 second.
Oh, sorry. Jim's asking, does that mean 67 a month for the agency license? No, it's 67 one-off. So the launch pricing is $27 one-off for the basic. Agency is $67 one-off. So it's pretty gobsmackingly good deal. They said that the basic is going to be $27 per month after the launch. Let me make this a bit bigger. $27 per month after the launch, but only $27 to start with. I don't know what they're planning for the agency price after the launch, but I guess $67 a month after the launch, which would be entirely justified. So it's pretty impressive knockdown pricing for the launch pricing. Sorry, Chris, I interrupted you.
No, I was actually, I forgot to look at the questions. I was watching your presentation, so sorry everyone.
That's all right. Well, you have a look through. What I'm
Okay.
going to do is bring up the dashboard for VideoPal while we're at it, if I can find it. But you hit some of the questions while I'm doing that.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Pete's saying, are we going to put the link in the box? It's not available just yet. The promotion starts on Friday. I believe it's Friday. I think so. Yeah. So Dale says, can you get rid of Powered by VideoPal? So John's covered that. Yes, you have to go for the agency option.
Yeah, that's right. The agency license gives you the ability to get rid of that Powered by.
Yes. So Jimmy's saying, can the client do their own video spokesperson for this product? Yes, you can. You can do your own voice.
Yeah. I'll take you through the back end actually of it. This is my login. So I'll show you my projects. So this is one where I was going to do a bit of a green screen. I didn't get that working, and it's terrible video of me that I took in a rush this morning. But let me show you this. This is the one that we got on Guinea Hog Association that I just showed you. So if we go into the edit button, starting a new project is exactly the same as edit. You come through a wizard. So first of all, you choose a video. So you can either choose 2D animated videos, which are like this, and there's a bunch of them. Obviously you can see a whole load of different 2D videos.
Can't see anything.
Oh, hang on.
Can't see anything.
Oh, thank you, Chris. That'll serve me right for not sharing my screen. Let me go back to the start. Oh dear. Yeah. This one here on the right is my green screen one that I was trying to do earlier, which is terrible, so I'm not going to show you that for love nor money, but I'll show you the editing this one that's the Guinea Hog Association one. Exactly the same if I click new project or if I click edit an existing project. I get taken through this wizard. So first of all, you got either a choice of these 2D animated pals. You see you've got a lot of different choices: businessmen, teacher at a desk, kids, doctors, workmen, or 3D animated pals, which you've seen one of them on my site. So you've got ladies, businessmen, doctors, etc. A bunch of different choices there. Human pals, which are sort of spokesperson type things, or of course you can use your own video, and so you can record yourself. There's my ugly mug there. You can record yourself, or you can record the local business owner, and you can put him up on the screen just like this lady here that you can see moving at this point. So that's a real person on video. You remove the background, the software will do it for you. Remove all the background and have them, which is pretty impressive. You can do these green screen transparent backgrounds. So you've got the choice between any of those. In this one I've got this 3D one selected here, so you just click on that button, click next. Then you can either do speech to text to speech. So you heard a synthetic voice. My name is Amy. This site is, oh, you didn't hear us. You couldn't hear, but this is what I had. And so you just type into here, hi, my name is Amy. This site is available for rent. If you're an attorney in Los Angeles or Orange counties and would like to rent this site, we will put your message, your content, your video, for example, like this one, and your phone number and an email contact form that goes straight to you. Just enter your email in the box below and we will contact you right away. So you type this in here and click text to speech, or you can use your own audio file, of course, or you can do a voiceover, which you can record right now. I can record a voiceover into the software. If you do text to speech, you can change language. So for those of you that operate abroad, if I click auto translate and then click, let's go to French, it thinks for a bit. And actually that's interesting, select a different voice. I'm not sure why it's not translating. This demo hasn't worked. There may be a small bug in it. There we go. Yeah, it has. So you can see now this is, hey, mon nom est Amy. Ce site est disponible. I can't really speak French very well, but it's translated into French. So if you use multiple websites, you can, in different countries, you can translate it automatically. Then you've got a call to action. So you can have a button, you can have a form, Aweber, get response, send lane. You saw on the Guinea Hog DUI lawyer site, we had a form to sign in, but you can also have a button. Click this button to go to our sales page. Click this button to go wherever you want. And then there's options. So you can show the form after some seconds or minutes, or show it at the end of playback, or show it immediately. You choose. And all of these things have different options. Colors, countdown timers, show at the end, or delay it. All of the options that you might want, or of course none. And you simply just click what you want. So we click none and click next. and then playback option, so you can autoplay, you can close it after playing. I'm not actually sure what blackout mode is. Play once per visit only, or you can show a mute button. You can position it wherever you want on the page, and then you just click create. And what happens now is that if I go back to the guinea hog site and play it again, obviously you won't hear the video, which is coming through in French to me right as soon as she starts. It'll be spoken in French, which you can't hear. But what you won't see is the opt-in box appear because I deselected that. So pretty simple and easy to use. Just click save and you are done. I really like it. Very simple, and as I said, you can overlay it onto someone else's site. So just imagine, like I said earlier, sending a URL videopal.me.page and that to a local business owner, which shows him his site with you overlaid talking about it. Very, very powerful. Right, Chris, sorry, I've done enough of that. What else have we got question-wise?
Yes, Chris is saying, where do you enter the code on the WordPress site? That's within the settings, the setup, isn't it?
Yeah,
of
that's
the
right.
VideoPal. Yes.
So yeah, you do just embed the code on the site, which is not how you do it on someone else's site. So I'm not sure. I'll have to think about that. But generally, so what we did with our site is we click get code and we get this code and we just embed it on the site. I'm not sure what you do for this third-party one. I'll have to have a look at that. Sorry, I'm not an expert on this, just seen it today for the first time. Can you use any other autoresponder, George? Well, there are those ones there that you can use that were listed in that backend that I showed you. I'm sure they'll expand more. This is pretty new software, so I'm sure they'll expand to more email providers. Any sites, Kamal, any sites at all, not just WordPress, any sites. And yes, it can go on multiple pages. Too bad click-through action choices are limited, says Tom. Yeah, I guess, but what I'd say is this is going to expand. So you're buying this brand new and you're getting a ridiculous price for it because it's brand new, and I would be very confident that these options and capabilities will expand. I'm very impressed with these guys that they've managed to crack the iPhone issue. That they've got it. You go to one of these sites on iPhone and you'll see it there playing, overlaying the page and not opening in a new window like iPhones normally do. So they're pretty competent coders, and yeah, carries our endorsement. John is asking for a link. There is no link yet. This is not available for sale. This goes on sale Friday. So you're getting an early preview, and like we always like to do, I'm giving you the details of the upsells so you know exactly what you're in for before you start. But I would get it. I wouldn't. If you build websites, if you do SEO, if you do anything on the internet, which means with websites, then I would say this is worth many times what they're charging for you, because you're going to have a lot of user engagement options and a lot of capability to engage your users in a way that others can't. Local SEO, powerful. Oh, that was the third bonus, Chris. How to use this to how to use VideoPal to win local clients.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah.
So those are the bonuses we're going to be. Perfect timing for me, says Brian. Yeah, perfect. Good stuff. And for us too. Guys, so questions on VideoPal if you like, but also on the other stuff we've covered. So just recapping in reverse order. Restored site software is still being coded. It's some weeks off, but it will be a revolution once that's available. PBN or Mini Site Protector plugin will be on sale next week, I promise, and for a low starting price of $7 a month. And then local SEO. Big area, guys. Loads of changes you need to keep up to date. So I'd urge you to go through the replay that we'll put up, study Chris's training on this that he's taught in this call, and the other videos. We'll be putting up the other videos that we prepared, that are companion videos that go into some more details in some of the areas in the members area of SEO Breakthrough, free of charge for any of you who are SEO Breakthrough members in good standing. So if you're still paying your $17 a month subscription, that's why you get all of that stuff free and updated. And we continue to update the course, and we'll continue to update the course into the future, guys, to keep it on the cutting edge of what is happening with Google. Now, I did get a message. It amazes me that anyone wouldn't be a member of SEO Breakthrough, but there was someone in the chat earlier who's not a member of SEO Breakthrough. I don't know how that happened, but what I typically will do is, SEO Breakthrough is closed, but when we do a webinar like this, if you are not a member of SEO Breakthrough and you want a member of SEO to be one to get all this stuff, send me an email. and we will let you into what is a closed thing normally. Let me put the link for our email, our support here. So email address is support@jpteach.me. Send me an email, and we might be able to let you in. Chris, what else do you see in there?
Yes, someone's asking the link for the snippet software, the protector software. When's that going to be available? Well, I've completed all the testing on it, by the way, and everything is 100% fine. It's great.
Great.
So we're ready now. So we just need to put together the bits. So if you've got an estimation, John?
Yeah, I mean, I say next week, I promise. So, and I'm planning, early part of next week, middle of next week, latest. It's just literally getting the logistics in place and the customer support ready to put the buy button up there for you to have it. So within a week. Promise. I've said that enough times now, so believe me.
Yes, and Jim's saying estimated ETA for the new SEO module this week. There you go. That's
next couple of days.
Hopeful.
Yeah, next couple of days. We'll get that out. It's all ready, just needs to be posted up. So I don't like to promise tomorrow, but I'll hope we'll have it up tomorrow. But certainly within a couple of days. Guys, there's no link for the Video Pal. It's not for sale yet. It goes on sale on Friday. You cannot buy it yet. It's not our product, so we don't control that one, so you can't blame me for that one. But it'll be on sale Friday. I will email you all. So we'll get the replay up of this coaching webinar tomorrow, and we'll get the email out as soon as Video Pal is live on Friday so that you can buy it. Andre, you're a funny guy. Yeah, Tom, that's yeah. So yeah, so 27. I think it's 27 to 37 for the front end. So I think it's starting at 27, but it's probably like a dime sale or whatever. That'll go up to 37 during the launch. One off for the basic, and 27 a month after the launch. So I'd definitely get it one off. And I would personally recommend that you budget for the agency in order to get rid of the little Powered by Video Pal. Robin, if I'm not, I don't know what you're saying, please add me to your email. I'm not sure what that means, but just send, if it's a sort of admin or support issue, just send me an email at support@jpteachme and we'll take care of you. Yeah, one payment for life of the, you got to buy the, let me just get rid of that because that's after the launch. So for the launch, it's 27 growing to 37 for the basic license for Video Pal, one-off lifetime payment, and then 67 for the agency. There is a deluxe version as well that sits between the two of those. I would recommend going straight for the agency. I don't actually know if you've got to purchase the deluxe first in order to be offered the agency. I don't think so. I think you can be. I think you can. I don't know. Let me just look. If I click on this my purchase link, so you got Video Pal Basic, Video Pal Deluxe, which is what I have access, Video Pal Profit Campus and Social Suite, those are two other upsells, and Video Pal Agency. So I can just click on this button here and upgrade to agency, as far as I'm aware, but I don't know if you need to buy Deluxe first. I'm sorry, it's not my product. I don't know. This is all I know. Hope that helps. Let's not talk about this anymore because I want to see if any of you got SEO related questions. I don't want to be banging on about this when my knowledge of Video Pal is pretty limited right now and I can't speak with authority on it. I've basically told you all I know, and that Chris and I are pretty interested in it. We think it's very good. When will Dynamic be available again? Austin's asking. I don't know. Chris Freeman is working hard on a number of issues and supporting the guys who bought in already. We'll make it available as soon as we can. I just don't see. Just don't know when that will be. I'm sorry. We'll send out a link to buy. Yes, Mike. We will send out a link for a Video Pal as soon as we can get hold of one. Andre's asking about, Chris mentioned zip code inclusion earlier. How can we do this naturally? Well, Andre, one example would be for, if it's a local business, to say, well, we operate in this area and this area and this area, and put zip codes with them. So a list of, our service operates in the following zip codes. Just make it natural in that way. Just make it look like, don't just have a blank space with a bunch of zip codes in, but put some text that justifies why you're listing zip codes and make it look natural that way. Is that fair enough, Chris?
Yeah, it is, yes.
Jimmy's asking about plumbers and loss. Go on, you answer that one, Chris.
Yeah, so Jimmy says, so the main changes for local SEO since July the 24th, 2014 basically affects plumbers and locksmiths. Is that correct? It's not correct. Since 2014, a lot has changed since then. Google is testing the plumbers and locksmiths in San Diego at the moment with the change which John showed at the beginning, but the changes really is Google's made it far more local orientated, so your activity needs to be shown local and your backlinks need to be shown to be local, and it's no good getting backlinks from India or wherever, but if you're a plumber based in Anaheim, for example, so it's got to be local based, and that's how it's all the changes are. Yeah. And there are other things as well which we've covered in this webinar.
Yeah, and so I was going to just say that actually we're going to put this recording up, so I'd encourage you all to go through it. There's a load of information there, and once we get it posted up in the members area as well, you know, with the additional videos and the PDF document that Chris showed, that'll all be in the members area and SEO Breakthrough. You know, please go through that and then come back to us with questions at that point, because I think you'll find it all spelled out for you. We're well over the 2-hour point now, so I'm thinking probably, unless Chris, you want to pick out any last questions, we'll probably take 2 more and then we'll close down. How about that?
Okay, yeah. So Mart is saying, will Google recognize written updates such as zip codes on an old page? Well, if you add, these are the zip areas we cover as a business, and you list them all out. When Google comes to recrawl your page, it'll pick that up as content, and it'll cache it, and then once a search comes to say plumber in such and such a zip, then Google say, well, this site has this page. They optimized for that because they mentioned it on their page, which they didn't before, but we now know that they do, so we'll now include it in the list. So that's
so the answer is yes then. The answer to Mark is yes, it does. Yeah, Google will see new content that you post on your page when it comes back after a period of time. Yeah. Chris, I don't know about you, but I'm fairly fragged. Shall we draw it to a close at that point? And sorry if there's a couple more questions in there. There probably are some that we haven't got to.
Yes.
But I think we will be back. We are going to cut the next up will be the 3-pack and how to rank in the organic 3-pack. We just didn't want to cover everything in one go, so we'll do that really soon in another members training, which we'll get out to you guys. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I hope that you've learned from it. And in terms of those things that are coming up, we'll watch out for your emails and we'll get them all out to you just as soon as you're ready. But thanks again for your attention. Good to see so many of you still. Wow, we're well over 2 hours and still hundreds of you on the call. So really, really good to see you, and thanks for sticking with us. And Chris, I'll let you close.
Okay, yes, Jen, thanks. And by the way, if when we're doing the 3-pack webinar, we'll be adding that to the local module as well. So when we put up the local module, SEO module, that won't include the 3-pack this week, but we will add to that. So, but on that note, it's a good night from me as well, and look forward to catching up with you all in Facebook and support. Bye then.